Hello everybody, this is John, your host on Mgtow is Freedom. Welcome back everyone. I have kind of a distress call out to me today and a request for this particular video. And I have to do some disclaimers at the beginning that covers the entirety of the video and everything I say. What I talk about here is just my opinion. I can't give financial advice, and I can't and don't offer legal advice or business advice. I'm just sharing my opinion, and you guys can take it, you can leave it. It's your information for you to make a decision on. Nothing I say, nothing at all, should give what I say any weight other than just a philosophical thought for you to consider. That said, I have a very serious subject I want to share my opinion with. I want to start with Marcus, who sent me a distress email. He says, John, can you please make a video of hiring a female on a management team? I'm a small business owner, and because of pressures of an all-male workforce, I was forced to hire a female on my management team. My business is now in jeopardy. I had to fire my best employee because, you guessed it, harassment. So what I'm guessing here is Marcus has because of pressures of having an all-male workforce, right? He's got some sort of business and he was pressured, probably by outside forces, maybe by the girls or women of his all-male workforce, possibly because of a small business association he's in, the local chamber of commerce, right? Perhaps he was given some legal threat, right? Hey, you don't have any women on your management team. I think that your hiring practices are sexist. Now, I don't know what Marcus's exact situation is, but, you know, if we just go with the least common denominator, there's a lot of social pressure, and then scale it up from there, right? People he knows, friends, business associates, local business charters and groups want to see women on management teams. So whatever caused Marcus to succumb to this pressure, he is now in big trouble. So let's get down to describing the situation, okay? When you don't have women in a management team, and I'm going to speak not as an employee, not as a businessman, well, I'm going to have to speak as something, I guess, right? But I'm going to speak from knowledge that I have, from my experience. When you don't have a woman in a management team, when you've got a group of men collaborating, you focus on the issue. You don't focus on any one man's ego any more than that ego is known going into it. And that ego, that personality, those strengths and characters and qualities are why he should be on the team. He shouldn't be on the team because of those qualities. When you bring a woman onto your management team, especially one that was pre-existing and has no women in it, you introduce a dynamic that is destructive. If you're selling women's panties, perhaps it's a good idea. But if you've got a business where you need intellect, you need people to bring their experience to bear on the business question, and you introduce a woman, you introduce a lot of elements. You introduce, at the very least, the element of the white knight. That is, that she is now, as a woman there, and in the minority, as in there's only one of them, certain men will succumb to this desire to protect, to shield, to help, to assist, right? And women know this. It's part of the manipulation scam. They know this and they'll rely on it. They'll say, I'm every bit as good as a man. I'm a man's equal. I know this job. I've got lots of experience. They will say that, but at the same time, right, the lip will go out and quiver and they'll play the game. someone help me, someone throw me a bone, someone do my work, right? And so they get sympathy, right? It's an emotional sucker play. It is how saps are fucked with. It is what attracts white knights, because they want to be the hero. They want to charge in and save the day. So that is a small element. Let's get into some larger elements of having a woman in a management team, as Marcus has described. Okay, a woman comes in, right? Not only does she play for the sympathy while pretending to be strong, she also plays the sex card. She wants to know which man or which men are interested in her sexually, because she can make those men fall in line behind her, right? With a flicker of an eye, right? The exposure of some teeth, right? A little shake of the tail feather, maybe a little cleavage. Those are all not so subtle tricks, but they are subtle, because she'll pretend like she's not doing it. And the guy will get the fucking signals, right? He's going to get the signals. He's going to get interested in her, right? The sexual attraction angle. She's going to pretend like she's not doing it to get him on the hook. Now, again, I started out saying your management team, it's intellectual, it's experience, it's men focusing on a problem, focusing on improving business, making progress, improvement in production, making the sale, right? Bam! Now you've got an element of sympathy, coercion, and sexuality involved in your management team. Oh yeah, and it gets worse, right? Women, just because they don't understand a business doesn't mean they are not ambitious. I'm going to talk about a business experience I had back in the 90s. It had to do with a legal association that was being started. It was going to be a nationwide legal association. It was supposed to be big. We were putting together teams of people. Lawyers had to be involved when we got to the point where we were going to implement the situation. Lawyers saw the potential of the business. Lawyers took over, right? Lawyers ruined it. Not because they were good at doing anything, but because they were ambitious. They're ambitious, they wanted it, but they couldn't do it. They were incompetent, essentially, to run the business. Law, yes. Business, no. They fucked it all up. Women on a board, ambitious, yes. Capable, you got a big fat question mark there. And women know how to play the fucking game, and Marcus is dealing with it. Okay? She is there. Right? She's probably ambitious. At least she wants to keep her job. Right? That's at the very least, she wants to keep her job. You know, and she's got white knights, right? And on a board, on a management team, you're not going to have simpletons. They don't belong there. No simps, right? Potential manginas. You don't know where they're at, right? Everyone can talk tough. But, you know, a woman who does her trick, her game, right, that I just talked about a few minutes ago, she gets men to white knight for them a little bit, and then she gives them a little bit of sexual innuendo, and they can do it and get away with it. No man complains, but I would. The moment a woman gave me any attention that I thought was untowardly, I would go to either the chairman or someone above me, right? And if I'm the boss, I'm making notations and giving them to my fucking lawyer, right? So that it is documented, literally documented, so that if she starts playing any games, you've got documentation that she was sexually flirting with you. You've got to have that documentation. Okay, so back to the story. You're going to get white knights who get sucked in, and then they're going to be turned into manginas. They can be turned. Now, a good businessman, a smart businessman, an experienced businessman can be all of those things and a mangina, right? You brought him into your work get him away from his personal life, his women, his dreams, whatever. You've got him focused on the mission, right? Mission is important. Mission comes first. But you introduced a woman onto a team where a guy is susceptible to being a mangina. You're now fucked. He's weak. He's weakened by her, right? Normally, where you got a guy who's going to be a bear, right? You just turned him into a koala bear by putting a woman on that board, because he is going to be weak and soft, and he's going to become a mangina. The other white knights, right? Some are going to speak up and act macho and talk beyond their ability. That's a problem. So when you introduce a woman to your team, you introduce a dynamic that plays on men's minds, on their hearts, on their penises, right? And they can't do the job. The better looking the woman is, the worse off you are. Period. Period. Right? So, let's go back to Marcus's story. He says, I was forced to hire a female on my management team. My business is now in jeopardy. I had to fire my best employee because, you guessed it, harassment. She probably, and I would put money on this, and I don't bet. She probably flirted with the guy. She may have slept with the guy. She may have been threatened by the guy. Probably all those things. A woman is threatened and turned on by an alpha male, so she'll respond sexually. But because of the system we have, the system out here, you can be punished for that as a man. You can be punished for responding, right? For being a man. She can go after you. She can claim that you used your authority over her, your position, right, to